Hey Sagittarius, welcome to your mid-April check-in. This is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Check your sun, moon, rising, Venus, and midheaven if you feel like you're up to it. You may get a little, you may get a lot. Either way, it's a general reading. That's what happens. So when I sat down to do your reading, it was very interesting because I got the phrase apathy play. And immediately, to me, the way that I was experiencing those two words was about not needing to care as much in some way, shape, or form. Maybe perhaps Sagittarius, you've been doing a lot, holding a lot of space, maybe. And I feel like there's a chance for you to separate from certain things and show a level of indifference in order to gain the upper hand of a situation. I don't really like messages like this because they sound a little bit manipulative in my, from my perspective. But, it could also be that you're putting too much pressure on something and for you to create a little bit of space from it. Not really going so far as being in a state of apathy or being reckless, with whatever it is that you're investing energy and attention into, but there's a need to release some type of pressure. And in order for you, I think, probably to play more, honestly, Sagittarius, if I had to say anything about that. But I want to check and see what these cards have to say. It's funny because I'm also getting a slight headache as I'm talking to you, and I feel like that has to do with there's something that you're probably waking up to, but it's causing a lot of nervous or anxious energy, causing a lot of heightened energy. And there's a need to ground and remember who you are and what you're capable of, right? It's like you may be marked by a certain event of vulnerability, but I think it's like it shakes you up to a place where you're sensitive enough to know where to tread, right? To know where you're supported, to know and recognize where you find support readily available versus where you feel like you have to, cash in your tokens in order to receive some. I don't know. It's just how it came through. So we have the Judgment card, we have the Lovers card in reverse, and we have the Hermit. So there's time where it's like, maybe there's a choice. There's a decision that you've been putting off in some way, shape, or form. And it could have to do with you've done your best to be vulnerable in a space and you're starting to see things as they are. It's like, it's not really you being the one that has to put limits or work in a certain framework. I think it's just like teaching you that the choices that you intuitively or distinctively want to make, when you have to act against them, it creates a lot of anger, right? Creates a lot of separation. And that's when you get into your head a lot. No matter what you know about a situation or a person before it even unfolds. And here we have the Hermit, which is just like kind of looking back and like just reflecting on the wisdom that you gained and just knowing that no more. You've reached a certain level of completion where this is no more. I'm going to know next time and I'm going to trust myself, right? You're going to make sure that you don't move yourself back into any type of position where you're being told to doubt yourself or to act against your own intuition or instincts here. No matter how much love you feel like you're being told to continuously offer in a situation. And love doesn't necessarily have to mean romantic love, but it can just be the energy that you put into stuff, the investment. When we invest in the things because we put our heart into them, and it's like it could be something that we just want to invest in long term and support long term, hoping that there'll be a reciprocity one day, hoping that you'll be seen one day. It's like you don't have to prove yourself to anyone, Sagittarius. And I feel like you've done your best to try to do that, and so now you're kind of going back into this solitary energy, and it's like because you want to clearly define your boundaries Because maybe there are some spaces where there's just not you haven't had enough detail. You weren't really sure what you were feeling hesitant about, or what what you thought like you knew maybe kept being, you kept getting distracted in some way, wanting something, or perhaps being encouraged to show up or participate in some type of way. And so it's like now you have the details of what that situation's like, how you need to trust yourself more often, and challenge others when they come across your light and then try to deny it. All right, and then we have this Eight of Pentacles here at the bottom. And so it's like, this is you just constantly trying to work through something. And it's like, a lot of people say that Sagittarius is flighty. I mean, we're a mutable sign. I get it. We adapt to things, but there's I feel like there's something where it's like you're really trying to build something up here. You were really doing your best to do so, but you just knew it wasn't a successful endeavor. You knew that it would be kind of just like a cheap thing, that, it's almost like you were creating something brilliant, like this beautiful art piece, only for it to end up, being in a tourist like gift shop, right? You feel like that somehow you've been cheapened or used in some type of experience, and it causes you to question your work or your worth, and that feels awful. I know. But then here we have this Five of Cups, which is indicating to me, it's like, you know what? Just because someone's tastes aren't accustomed to you doesn't mean that you're not refined and that you're not excellent, okay? And that it's time for you to work with what you got. You gave what you gave, and at least you didn't give it your all, right? So you can walk away with something that you can then grow upon and build upon, the energy that you have to invest in something somewhere else, to get refilled, to get refreshed. Find a place where you are naturally and divinely protected, because there's nothing that you have to guard. There's nothing you have to safeguard against. That to me is a certain level of protection that is not readily available to most, because it requires a certain level of knowing oneself in order to achieve it. Right, Sagittarius? Okay, so let's see. All right. So we have acquisition, we have inheritance, and we have revenge. Reverse. All right. So there's no reason for you to go back and try to prove yourself right here, or to state your case. I feel like, again, with that Hermit energy, it's just time to get back to you, spending time on you, doing what matters to you, and not allowing anyone else to come in and disrupt your peace for the time being. Because I feel like you're in a healing space right now, and it's necessary for you to, again, just build yourself up, gain perspective from whatever the situation is, trust yourself, make sure you're rooted in your worth, right? Okay, so with this acquisition card, what I feel here is that it's like, it's almost like someone's been kind of flirting with you, like flirting with your energy, or you with them, because it's like it takes two to tango. And it's like you want something from someone, they want something from you, but it's unclear what the want is here on either side. It's not being communicated. It's shy, and it's sometimes playful, sometimes mean, sometimes just plain confusing. And it's a whole thing of just trying to get something, trying to acquire something. And I feel like someone was definitely trying to snatch some magic from you. It's like they want whatever that makes you special, and they're kind of obsessed with it, but in such a way where it's like a love-hate situation, right? And they've made promises to other people, or I almost feel like this is something where it's like kind of a karmic cycle, karmic situation. And it's like they're not yet awakened to it, and you're still you're sitting here in a more awakened state, and they're not. They don't know how they're playing into this pattern. And it could be something that you're aware of, and you're seeing it unfold, and you want to back out. And, but at the same time, it's like there's something that was keeping you hard pressed on moving, trying to find a way through it, right? Instead of recognizing that there's got to be a point where you just surrender the situation and find a way out and into something more in alignment with you, right? And your awakened state and your understanding of the situation, your comprehension of what larger themes here are being highlighted here. And people who actually recognize you for who you are, right? Who see you, who hear you. Because then with this inheritance card, it's like, there's something about, do you end up going in circles trying to be the one that transforms a situation, or are you yourself transformed? Are you dedicated to transforming yourself and not the situation? That's the thing. It's like we get hung up on the external and the imprint that we can make on it, how we can how can we leave an impression? There we go. How we can leave an impression instead of recognizing the impressions that certain circumstances leave upon us that actually teach us more about who we are, what we expect, how we can refine, how we can heal, how we can move forward, how we can strengthen ourselves, rebuild ourselves, right? So let's see. Here at the bottom of the deck, we have rebellion. And I feel like it was you really trying not to be the one that shakes things up. You really not trying to always be that one that's so determined to disrupt and to innovate, right? That you were just going to deal with the status quo. And it's like, nah. if that's part of your frequency, you awaken people, and that's what you do. Accept it, own it, claim it, use it, right? It's not their fault. They can't handle it. They shouldn't have been, flirting with their flirting with their shakeup when they were messing with you, right? Or engaging with you, or trying to tell you things for as they see them. It's like they're not seeing it right. They're still in some illusion. You saw things for what they were, and yet you still thought that you could try and save the day in some way. And it's like, no, you know better now. You can heal from it. You can move on from it, okay? I don't think this has anything to do with what you did or didn't do. Well, what you didn't do was walk away. I feel like that would have been important. But all things happen in time. It's all good. We have the Hangman Reverse. So dancing around a situation instead of being willing to sacrifice it altogether, right? Sacrifice a situation. It's like instead you were okay with the instability because it was something interesting, right? It was something where you thought like, oh, well, maybe I'm here at the precipice of some great change, right? Some great shift. And I'll be the one to help fix it. And then we have this Ace of Wands here. It's like, no, that really wasn't for you to take on. And in fact, you're delaying the actual movement and progress that you want in life, right? It's like, let's get creative here. Let's not try to keep, doing the same thing. And then we have this Queen of Wands here. And it's so funny. It's almost like I feel like these two figures fighting for this wand, right? It's this hangman who has, committed who may have been falsely accused of something, perhaps just dancing and playing around with the punishment, playing around with a like venomous snake, which you might have been doing, in this situation, not realizing it fully. When you really needed that stick, instead of dancing around with it, you really needed it to protect yourself. And then here with this, then we have this Queen of Wands where it's like, I get it. All right, I accept this, and now I'm ready, and I'm just going to sit here and observe and allow truth to unfold, right? I'm going to be here, and I am, I am of my own, I work to the beat of my own drummer, right? I pay attention and I'm confident in who I am. I shine my light on things and just let and sit and see what happens, see what unfolds. I have stable foundations that I can sit and stand upon. And so it's just like you creating distance and being able to kind of look from afar to see things for what they really are. Then we have the Lover's card in reverse again, and it's like, yeah, you get it. Like, you were really perhaps thinking too much about the situation and not really allowing yourself to feel it. Perhaps your heart was too open. Perhaps you were allowing your energy to be siphoned from you in some way. It's like your love, in fact, is the one thing that I feel like this person or the situation needs, but they're not using it wisely or with reverence. They're not being reciprocal. They're not recognizing that love is a two-way street, right? Love isn't always street. Love is a roundabout. No, I'm just gonna be silly here. But yeah, I feel like you gave as much love as you could into a situation and you didn't really receive anything back. Because it was just the love that was desired. They don't really want it from you. They need it from someone else, and it's probably themselves, right? It's probably themselves. And in fact, it's caused you a lot of difficulty within your knowing and understanding and self-love. And I say no more. I say no more, Sagittarius. So that's what's going on for you. And here at the bottom of the deck, we have the Death card. It's like you weren't willing to let this go because you felt like you'd be the one to transform it, like I said. And then we have the Moon card reverse. It's like truth is coming up. It's coming up. Where do your loyalties lie, right? Which camp are you in here? I really do feel it's like you needed to feel your way through this, but you kept thinking your way through it. You kept trying to shine your light in this dark place, right? And it just kept taking it in, absorbing it, absorbing it, absorbing it, and thus gaining more power while you continue to dim yourself over some time. And I feel like that's changing, Sagittarius. You've learned something from this, and I feel like you're right around the corner from your great reward, but it's going to require you to remain steadfast and to get into a place of solitude for a little bit, or sanctuary. And sanctuary isn't always a space of being alone, right? But it's a space of feeling accepted, feeling comfortable. A space where you can really find clarity and sit and find comfort in a certain amount of clarity, even if it is an uncomfortable situation. So anyways, yeah, so take a step away, get back to you. That's all I got for you, so I'll see you next time. Bye.